Good evening to all of you present over here. Today, I, Ikra Shamim, student of Law 4th year, Department of Law, AMUMC.
And I, Syed Mohammed Ashar, student Department of Business Administration.
Today, we both got the pleasure for being the host of Sir Syed Day 2021 celebration. Before we start the program, let me acknowledge you the presence of some of the eminent personalities here, including Dr. MP Abdul Samad Samdani sir, a Member of Parliament, Malappuram Lok Sabha constituency, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan sir, Coordinator E. Centers, Professor Shafiq Idwai sir, Professor in Department of Mass Communication, and Dr. Faisal KP sir, Director, Aligarh Muslim University, Malappuram campus. I heartily welcome you all, sir. And also, I would like to welcome all of my respected teachers, staff members, non-staff members, alumni, talented students, and other guests present in this program on behalf of whole Aligarh Muslim University, Malappuram fraternity. Thank you all for gracing us with your presence. खूबसूरत से एक पल का किस्सा बन जाता है, खूबसूरत से एक पल का किस्सा बन जाता है, जाने कब कौन कहां जिंदगी का हिस्सा बन जाता है। कुछ खास लोग होते हैं जिंदगी में, कुछ खास लोग होते हैं जिंदगी में, जिनसे कभी ना बिछड़ने वाला रिश्ता बन जाता है। Syed Ahmed Khan was one such personalities for Aligarh Muslim University.
Sir Syed Ahmed Khan did not only evoke a new philosophy and pedagogy for public instruction, but also affected a change in the attitude of people, especially of the Muslim community, and established Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, which later grew into Aligarh Muslim University. Presently, this university stands as a living testimony to Sir Syed's vision and has had a remarkable reputation across the globe. Today, we are celebrating, remembering, acknowledging and admiring the achievements of Sir Syed Ahmed Khan on his 204th birthday.
Before we begin the program, following the old traditions of Aligarh Muslim University, let me call upon Mr. Yaqub Murtaza for the recitation of holy verses of Quran.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, audible.
Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed Shaitan. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most kind. إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يدبر الأمر ما من شفيع إلا من بعد إذنه ذلكم الله ربكم فاعبدوه أفلا تذكرون. Surely your Lord is Allah who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, then established himself on the throne conducting every affair. None can intercede except by his permission. That is Allah, your Lord, to worship him alone. Will you not then be mindful? إليه مرجعكم جميعا وعد الله حقا إنه يبدأ الخلق ثم يعيده ليجزي الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات بالقسط والذين كفروا لهم شراب من حميم وعذاب أليم بما كانوا يكفرون. To him is your return altogether. Allah's promise is always true. Indeed, he originates the process of creation and resurrects it so that he may justly reward those who believe and do righteous deeds. But those who disbelieve will have scalding water and painful punishment for their disbelief. هو الذي جعل الشمس ضياء والقمر نورا وقدره منازل لتعلموا عدد السنين والحساب ما خلق الله ذلك إلا بالحق يفصل الآيات لقوم يعلمون. He is the one who made the sun a radiant source and the moon a reflected light, and determined for its phases so that you may know the number of years and calculation of time. Allah did not create all this except for a purpose. He makes sign clear for the people of knowledge. إن في اختلاف الليل والنهار وما خلق الله في السماوات والأرض وما خلق الله في السماوات والأرض لآيات لقوم يتقون. Indeed, in the alteration of night and day, there are signs for the people who mind of peace. And all that Allah has created in the heavens and the earth, there are signs for those who are mindful of Him. إن الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا ورضوا بالحياة الدنيا واطمأنوا بها والذين هم عن آياتنا غافلون أولئك مأواهم النار بما كانوا يكسبون. Surely those who do not accept to meet us and are pleased with this worldly life and feel secure therein, and those who are heedless of our signs, they will have fire as a home because of what they have committed. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات يهديهم ربهم بإيمانهم تجري من تحتهم الأنهار في جنات النعيم. Surely those who believe and do good, their Lord will guide them to paradise. Beneath them rivers will flow in the garden of pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yaqub Murtaza. One thing I would like to make you all know that there was a series of competition organized by all the three departments. We witnessed a huge participation. We have final results of various competitions in our hand, which we will be announcing at the end of the event. Now, to welcome the esteemed guests, respected teachers, non-teaching staff, and students present here, I would like to call on screen Dr. Faisal KP Sir, Director of Aligarh Muslim University, Malappuram Center. So you're the driving force who manage, coordinate, guide, and supervise various activities of this educational institute. It's my honor to welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good evening to all. Honorable Chief Guest of the day, Dr. MP Abdul Samad Samdani, MP Sahab, the Member of Parliament, Malappuram constituency, esteemed guest and keynote speaker, esteemed guest and the keynote speaker, Dr. Shafiq Udair, Professor in the Department of Mass Communication, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, and the respected Professor Iqbal Ali Khan sir, the coordinator of JMU Sundays and the Professor in the Department of Law, Aligarh Muslim University, distinguished dignitaries, guests, faculty members, my colleagues, all the staff, both teaching and non-teaching, organizing team, students, both past and present, and all the participants. We are extremely happy and honored to be here on this online platform from different parts of the country and outside even the country to celebrate the 204th birth anniversary of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. We know for anybody having any connection with Aligarh Muslim University, but all those who have any concern for a progressive and inclusive India where all sections of people can prosper and live with dignity while safeguarding her freedom and unity, October 17 is a very remarkable day and a very special day. On this day, people gather to pay tribute to Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was a great educationist, a philosopher, a social reformer, a renowned scholar, a writer, a jurist, and administration, and whatnot. Yes, on this day, we recall the life and sacrifice of Syed Ahmad Khan, rededicating ourselves to the great vision and mission that the founder of Aligarh Muslim University stood for and preached for. I am very happy that we have three eminent personalities with us today who will be sharing the thoughts and understanding about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. And I am here to welcome all the eminent guests and the participants to these functions. To start with, let me introduce and welcome Dr. MP Abdul Samad Samadani Sahab. And Samadani Sahab does not require any introduction in Kerala. But for our students and faculty and staff from other parts of the country, let me briefly introduce you our respected and honored Samadani Sahab as a great and blessed orator, a prolific writer, a philosopher, and a political leader. His knowledge of history and philosophy makes his speeches and writings very interesting and insightful. And people, wherever he speaks there, people will throng to the side and to the venue. And I remember myself from my childhood, the way I have been following him, wherever he delivers his speech, we used to make it a kind of occasion to reach there. So that kind of very blessed orator, Samadani Sahab is there. And he has been the member of Rajya Sabha twice and the MLA in Kerala Legislative Assembly representing Kottakkal constituency, and also right now he represents Malappuram constituency in the Lok Sabha. That is Dr. MP Abdul Samadani Sahab. He is our MP and has been involved in the development process of the AMU Center from its very inception in the beginning. And recently, when he was about to leave for his first Lok Sabha meeting, I want to meet him and I wanted to share him about the AMU Malappuram Center. So there was no need to update him because he was already updated everything and he knows everything. Each and every movement that is happening in the campus, he was well aware of it. So that's how his commitment and towards the AMU Center Malappuram. And I also acknowledge his participations in the second celebration of AMU campus. Sir, you were our chief guest that time in our second celebration. That was in 2012. I don't know whether you remember. That time I was the convener and I invited you to deliver the keynote speech. And I'm honored. I feel honored that today I'm inviting you to inaugurate the function. I'm so kind of you. I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to you. And sir, with all respect, I welcome you to these online day celebrations. And over these years, we have had a number of distinguished scholars and statesmen to deliver the commemorative lecture on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Just like we had Samadani Sahab, we are very happy. We had lots of other eminent personalities to deliver commemorative speech on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. We are very happy to have Professor Shafiq Kidwai sir as our keynote speaker for this year. Professor Shafiq Kidwai sir does not require any introduction to AMU fraternity and for this to this august audience also. He is the professor in the Department of Mass Communication at Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. He is communication scientist, translator, columnist, and author. He has authored 13 books in Urdu and English. He is considered one of the authorities on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The book titled Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Reason, Religion, and Nation is latest contribution in the field of understanding and multiple readings on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He is 2019 work Sana Sir Syed Ahmad Basdir, a biographer Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, won the 2019 Sahitya Academy Award for Urdu. So with all respect, sir, I welcome you, sir, to these functions, to this celebration of AMU Malappuram's campus. I also welcome Professor Iqbal Ali Khan, sir, who is a professor in the Department of Law, AMU Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, and also presently he is looking after the affairs of Aligarh Muslim University centers. There are 3 centers, one in Kerala, that is Malappuram Center, one is West Bengal, that is Murshidabad Center, and one in Bihar, that is Kishanganj Center. And Professor Aligarh sir is actually coordinator of all 3 departments, and even Aligarh Muslim University Malappuram Center is having very close, very specific, very particular relationship with Aligarh sir. I remember Aligarh sir was the first person who gave the first lecture in the department of AMU Malappuram Center on the inaugural, inauguration of our teaching and learning session, that is in 2011 itself. It was 28th February 2011. I remember, sir, you were there to inaugurate the classes. So, as chairman of the department, I wholeheartedly welcome you to this function, and also I request you to preside over these Syed celebrations of our Malappuram campus. I also welcome Advocate P.C. Moideen to this function. Advocate Moideen is the president of Aligarh Muslim University Old Boys Association of Kerala, and more than that, he is very close associate of our center. He has always concerned about whatever going on in the department and in the center, and for the development of the AMU centers, he has been there for different meetings, and he also initiated several meetings. And I also welcome Mr. Adil Aziz, the president of AMU MC, AMU Malappuram Center Alumni Associations. Adil is also the son of Professor P.K. Abdul Aziz sir. He's the founder, who was the founder of AMU Sundays. So I welcome you to these functions. So we feel honored with the presence of all 3 eminent personalities and all others who are joining, and I'm seeing there are more than 200 participants are participating now. Again, lots of people are actually waiting. So though I don't want to take much of your time. I know Samir Samdani sir also having other program to attend, and Shafiq Doi sir was just coming from other programs, and Aligarh sir was, just before this function, he was there in the function of Syed Ahmad Khan celebration of Murshidabad Center. I don't want to take much of your time, and I want to as a message that we all know we are restrained with certain limitation of the virtual platform, but I am sure the vigor, the enthusiasm, and the character of the celebration will be held higher on this platform because of our audience, and more than that, with eminent personalities who are participating as speakers. I am pleased to note that there was a huge participation different functions or different programs organized by different departments as part of the celebration of Syed. Now I welcome all the faculty members, all the staff members, the alumni of AMU Malappuram, and all my dear students to these 204th Syed celebrations. And once again, I also express my sincere thanks and gratitude to all the personalities, great personalities, beginning with Dr. Respected Dr. Samadani Sahab and Professor Shafiq Doi sir and Professor Iqbal Ali Khan sir for accepting our invitations to these functions. And also I express my appreciation to Dr. Ragul Virajan, who is coordinating this program. Over to you, Ragul sir.
Thank you, sir. The anchors will felicitate the thing, and Asher, please invite MP sir for the inaugural address.
Thank you, respected Director sir, for such warming and wonderful welcome address. बड़ी किस्मत से वो महफिल में चले आए हैं, बड़ी किस्मत से वो महफिल में चले आए हैं, बड़ी देर से हम सितारों का बदल ढूंढ रहे हैं. With these lines, I am profusely elated to introduce you all with the chief guest of the day, Dr. MP Abdul Samad Samdani sir, Member of Parliament, Malappuram Lok Sabha constituency. Sir is a seasoned parliamentarian, scholar in history, renowned orator, and as Director said, he needs no introduction. Sir is such a great personality that he wrote so many poetries, particularly of Iqbal Sahab, and popularized them a lot. He was MLA in Kerala Legislative Assembly and member of Rajya Sabha too. Currently, Samdani sir is a member of Parliament from Malappuram Lok Sabha constituency. So I wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, for the inaugural address of this event of 2021 Syed celebration. Over to you.
Thank you, dear Sister Ikra. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
Very good evening. Namaskar. Our esteemed President of the function, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan Sahab, our chief guest who has to deliver the keynote address here, he is an expert on Sir Syed and the Aligarh movement, author of very valuable books, Dr. M. Shafi Qiddai Sahab. My dear friend, the director of AMU Center Malappuram, Dr. Faisal Sahab, dear Dr. Raghul V. Rajan, the general convener of this program, and Syed Muhammad Ashar Sahab, Ghalib Nashtar Sahab, and Sheikh Mahmood, Adil Aziz, Muhyiddin Sahab, all the other dignitaries who are present here, and dear brothers and sisters. It's a very solemn occasion, very august assembly. Though we are meeting online, I feel we are too close. महसूस होता है हम बहुत करीब है, ऐसे दिल लगाओ, बहुत मुहतरम शख्सियात, उनके हाजिरी में ये सर सैयद के बारे में, सर सैयद का ये बर्थडे एनिवर्सरी मनाने में हमको बहुत फख्र है, खुशी है. I don't have to make a speech here. I would like to just make an introduction, a simple introduction. Many good things have been said about me here by my esteemed friend Dr. Faisal Sahab and dear sister Ikra Shamim. I'm thankful to them, but many of those things I actually don't deserve. I pray and I wish I would have been eligible for such great expectations and descriptions. And amidst us, we have our president of the function, the coordinator of AMU centers. We are very happy that he is here in this function, Professor I.A. Khan Sahab and Shafi Qiddai Sahab. I am very eager to read his books, especially on Sir Syed. We all value his contribution to the remembrance, to the commemoration of not only Sir Syed, but that great golden past of that great heritage of our contemporary society. Qiddwais have a great role in our history. We had great Qiddwais in the history of India. And whenever I pass through the streets of Delhi, Rafi Ahmad Qiddwai Marg, just when we see that board, we are reminded of many, many great, precious things of our past. When we remember Sir Syed here, what I feel, what I would like to suggest is that we have to review our past. We have to look into our past with a new vision, with a new insight. And Sir Syed is no doubt a towering personality in the history of our country, whose contribution to our history, culture, renaissance, everything, to our national movement is great, is very valuable. We have to remember, not only remember, but to review, to analyze with a new perspective, national perspective, whatever is beneficial for our nation, that you have to take from our past instead of using or misusing the past, the historical past and the historical traditions. We have to study it objectively as an intelligent society, as an enlightened society. That is our duty that we have to render to our own past. I am reminded of a couplet, बीती बातें दोहराने की आदत सी हो गई, बीती बातें दोहराने की आदत सी हो गई, चलते चलते रुक जाने की आदत सी हो गई. Sometimes we have to repeat. History doesn't repeat itself. There is a saying. But I believe history sometimes repeats itself. We have to look into the past. We have to turn back. पीछे की तरफ भी दौड़ने की जरूरत है. अगर पीछे की वो रवायात में भलाई हो तो. With such a perspective, we have to look into our past. India, the greatest importance and the speciality of our country, it's its pluralistic culture. We all know. Multi in every aspect. Multi-religious, multilingual, multicultural. In every sense, India is pluralistic. Our national movement was also a symbol of Indian pluralism. Many, many currents of history had originated and flown into that ocean of Indian heritage. It is diversity, completely diversity. Many, many, even systems of thought, currents of thought. But everything has to be seen and analyzed in its own background. We should not project the present upon our past. That will be harmful. Past has to be seen as the past in its own circumstance, in its own context, in its own background, instead of projecting our ideas, our problems, our issues upon the past. We should look at it and we should imbibe and accept whatever is there beneficial for us as a country, as a people, for our development, for our welfare, for our future. Sir Syed, it is not known so much popularly, but it is known. It has to be widely known that he was a great symbol of Hindu-Muslim unity. It has to be popularized more and more. We may not be agreeing with each and every view of any historical personality. I have my own disagreements with Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Though I am a very small person, he is a great person. especially with regard to his interpretation of religion. Even with his interpretation of the Quran, I have certain differences of opinion. I have felt it. I have no hesitation to express it. But such kind of disagreements doesn't minimize, do not minimize the importance of a towering personality, the contributions of, no, never. Sir Syed's contribution to our national movement, our national renaissance, our educational and cultural advancement, even now the campus, Aligarh campus. India is proud of its great campus, great universities, great centers of learning. MU itself is a tradition. No doubt, it is the part and parcel of Indian tradition, Indian national tradition. The MU campus, like many other campuses of the country. But the Aligarh campus, there is even Aligarh culture, sometimes it is called. Even if it Pardon? Excuse me? Hello?
So it was mistake.
Is there any problem?
So it was a technical issue. You can continue.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Sir, you are audible, please.
Okay, unmute.
Audible.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So we have to, can I continue? Could I?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, please continue.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
please continue.
Yes, sorry for the disturbance and the disruption. See, no, I'm not prolonging. So it is a glorious chapter of our pluralistic traditions, pluralistic heritage. Not only Sir Syed. Sir Syed, only one statement of Sir Syed. He described the Hindu and the Muslim communities of the country as the two eyes, the face of India. That one sentence is enough and more. Just one sentence. Great personalities should not speak for hours. They need not write pages, so many pages. Sometimes certain words. Just like when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was speaking during that historical occasion, August 15th, that midnight hour, India's tryst with destiny. Some words, those words make history. Those words themselves make history. So Sir Syed had made certain such statements to unify the country, to bring the communities more and more closer. This is the need of the hour. We have to utilize the ideas of Sir Syed, all other our great luminaries of the past, for this common purpose, for this common agenda. This is our agenda, our national agenda. We have to go forward, our country, only with unity. Hindu-Muslim Ittihad. This is the spirit of the country. And we cannot speak of the cultural background and the importance of Hindu-Muslim unity without referring to Sir Syed, without valuing his contributions. During such a very difficult hour of history, he stood as a rock for unity. Maybe he might have certain political opinions, like any other leader, like any other visionary. Those statements, those views and standpoints have to be seen in that historical background. He cannot be separated. No historical personality cannot be separated from their background, in the society they lived, in the context they worked. But he was a great person, great personality, a man of Renaissance. I'm reminded of the saying of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, बड़े बड़ों का उज्र ये होता है कि वक्त साथ नहीं देता और सरा सामान और असबाब का फराहिम नहीं, लेकिन वक्त का आजिम व फाती उठता है और कहता है कि अगर वक्त साथ नहीं देता तो मैं उसको साथ लूंगा. Sir Syed was such a great personality. Time did not go with him, did not follow him, but he took time with him. He had that courage. He had that boldness. He has a rare personality, great personality. And these great men of India, these great men of our past, they are part of national heritage. On one side, when I am concluding, on one side, we have Sir Syed. On the other side, when we look into the past of those days, there is Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who I feel has great relevance in today's India. Raja Ram, such a great man, great scholar, scholarly person. One of the great founders of Indian Renaissance, who knew not only Urdu, but Persian, even Arabic. One of the name of his books, if we hear now, we will be amazed. Tuhfatul Muwahhideen. He is the author of that book. When we hear that name of that book, we feel that it is the great kitab in Arabic. We will feel Tuhfatul Muwahhideen, Arabic name, but I think it is in Persian. He was one of the founder of our Renaissance. He was even described as a Maulavi Ram Mohan Roy. Here we had a leader in Kerala, in my own constituency, a leader of our freedom movement, Narayana Menon, who was called Mappila Menon. Mappila Menon, Mappilas are the Muslim community of Malabar. They are known as Mappilas. Mappila Menon, because of his closeness to Muslims, because of his committed stand to communal harmony. We have to recollect these past positive aspects. Every country's, community's history may be having fortunate and unfortunate things, good things and bad things. History is a sound box where the sounds of various generations have been recorded. Good words will be there, bad words will be there. An intelligent society should accept the good and reject the bad. That is what is called enlightenment. We have to, if we want to live an enlightened life, we have to be objective to our past. Our pluralistic culture is the spirit of India. It was the spirit of the freedom movement. Freedom movement was not a single movement. It was not a one-sided movement. It was not a singular thought process. Many ideas. On one side, there was Mahatma Gandhi, who was a pure ahimsavadi. Never he made a compromise with himsa, any kind of. But We had Subhash Chandra Bose, who went outside the country, organized an army, and who wanted to come to India, defeating the British. But can we forget Subhash? Can we reject him? We adore both Gandhiji and Subhashji. We respect the contributions of both Sir Syed and Rajaram Mohan Roy. Only such a wide outlook will be a humanitarian outlook, and that is secular outlook. That should be our vision, our attitude to the past. I am concluding these humble remarks. The Malappuram Center of the Aligarh University, we are proud under the leadership of Dr. Faisal Sahab and his comrades. It is going forward, should continue its march to progress. We are all with the center of Aligarh campus. Aligarh campus in this area, it's something to be proud of. Aligarh is not only a university, it's a part of our cultural heritage, language. Even Aligarh University had a very good flourished Malayalam department. The Malayalam department of Aligarh there in UP, not in any other center, not in Kerala. Traditional. Great Malayalam literary personalities worked there. So that is education. That is campus. Campus destroys all the barriers. Hudud ko mitana chahiye. जैसे हुदूद को गैरियत के पर्दे एक बार फिर उठा दे, नक्शे दुई मिटा दे, एक नया शिवाला इस देश में बना दे। मोहब्बत का वो शिवाला, इंसानियत का वो शिवाला हमको बनाना चाहिए। उसके लिए हमको इकट्ठे होकर साथ रहकर काम करना भी चाहिए। I conclude these simple remarks. I am very proud to be a modest. I am privileged to be at this great assembly. Shafiq Idai Sahab, Iqbal Sahab, Syed Muhammad Sahab, Ghalib Sahab, and many other my esteemed friends, and scholars from Aligarh University. I hope we will continue our work. I hope Shafiq Idai Sahab will write more. We want such great books, such great works, recurring the past, recreating the past, relooking the past, reviewing the past. Past is not past. It is the beginning of the present. History is a continuity. We are the part of that continuous process, the drops of that flow. It goes on. It has to go on. And expecting more from him. I am reminded of that name of that novel. I think it is written by Charles Dickens. Great expectations. With great expectations from scholars like him, I conclude these remarks. Thank you. Thank you so much. With the permission of great scholars and dignitaries assembled here, I conclude. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abdul Samad sir. It was really, you just have a very valuable thoughts. Thank you so much for your valuable thoughts then. So now we have the chairman of the function, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan sir. He's a veteran teacher in law who has been teaching for more than 30 years. He was a dean and chairman of the Department of Law, Aligarh Muslim University.
So, Ashwin, one minute. I request all the esteemed participants to switch on your video so that we will take a photo. Samadhani sir is also there. So please put your video on, and Syed, please take the picture.
Okay, sir.
Participants, please put your video on.
Some of our friends are hidden. Only names are seen.
Requested all of them to put your video them on set.
Yes, yes. Many, many new stars are rising.
Is it okay with Syed?
Yeah, all the slides over.
I
Yes,
think
sir,
it's
I have
over.
taken. Okay. Yes, sir.
Over. Okay. Thank you. Ashar, you may continue. Continue that. Okay.
So as I was telling about Mr. Iqbal, sir, he was the Dean and Chairman of the Department of Law, Aligarh Muslim University. He read and published 100 articles in various seminars and journals. He is a coordinator of 3 centers of Aligarh Muslim University. So this is my honor to invite you to please deliver the presidential address.
Thank you very much. Dr. Abdul Samad Samdani Sahab, Honorable Member of Parliament, Malappuram, Kerala. Very, very thought-provoking thoughts. Professor Shafet Qudwai Sahab, a prolific writer on Sir Syed Ahmad, and a very, very right choice on the occasion to make a keynote address on this occasion. Dr. Faisal KP, Director of Malappuram Center, erudite guests, esteemed colleagues, and dear students. Assalamu alaikum. तुम्हें कहता है मुर्दा कौन, तुम्हें कहता है मुर्दा कौन, तुम जिंदों में हो जिंदा हो, तुम जिंदों में जिंदा हो, तुम्हारी खूबियां जिंदा, तुम्हारी नेकियां बाकी, तुम्हारी खूबियां जिंदा, तुम्हारी नेकियां बाकी. My dear students and friends, today we, the Aligarh community, are celebrating 204th birthday of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. This day is very, very close to the hearts of every Ali, wherever he be. Friends, I'm not going to deliberate much more on the contribution of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, because a learned personality, Professor M. Shafet Qudwai Sahab, is here, and he will deliberate and speak on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Imagine what would have been the position had there been no Sir Syed Ahmad. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the torch bearer. He was a person who emphasized the English education, or rather say general education for Muslims. He was of the view, if you want to progress, if you want to lead an honorable life, then you will have to be educated. You will have to take the education. Not only in India, but all over the world. If you find any Muslim in a good position, then you will see he one way or the other belongs to Aligarh Muslim University. So far as India is concerned, AMU has a lion's share amongst the educated Muslims. The whole credit for this position goes to this Messiah of education, that is Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. When I was a student, then at least 20 to 30% students from Kerala used to study in Aligarh Muslim University. And still, I have one of my senior roommate, rather say, Dr. K.K. Muhammad, who is settled nearby this Malappuram. He used to be my senior in the hostel and live in a nearby room. And I remember that most of the people from Kerala, they have got their education from this particular university. Friends, in Aligarh University, our students not only take the education, degrees, but he learns the way as how to live a human life. Tehzeeb. He learns a way how to be a distinguished guy amongst a lot. AMU, friends, has the distinction to produce many head of the states, Supreme Court and High Court judges, and many legal luminaries, administrators, politicians, doctors and engineers, and many experts in different fields. It has an immense contribution to the development of the country. Moreover, many other universities like Jamia Millia, Jamia Hamdard, Kashmir University, Imperial, and many other universities are being nursed and flourished by the illustrious sons of Aligarh Muslim University. So far as Sir Syed Ahmad Khan is concerned, you have a very learned personality. But from the teachings of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, I have learned the following four very, very important things, which are still useful, will remain always useful in the context of India. First is that education is the key to lead a respectable life. Particularly, Sir Syed was talking about education amongst Muslims. Still, Muslims are lagging much behind so far as the field of education is concerned. Second, which I have seen through the readings of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, that when somebody criticizes you or your religion, then don't react and recourse to violence, but try to convince them with your arguments. You should convince them through the arguments, which you will find in Holy Quran. You know, the third, which I have learned from the readings, the slogans, unity in diversity. It was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan who has first coined this word, unity in diversity. He emphasized that both Hindus and Muslims of this country are the two beautiful eyes of a bride. We should live in harmony with each other. We should live with love and affection with each other. And friends, last, which I have extracted, that is religious tolerance and non-violence among all the members of the society. Among all the members of the society. These are the few important things, friends, which I have learned from the readings of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. I myself has deliberated on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan just an hour before, so I won't take much of your time. And I also like to hear Professor M. Shafi Qidwai, winner of Sahit Academy Award on Sir Syed Ahmad. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Director Saab, for giving me this opportunity to be with you on this auspicious occasions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Iqbal sir, for sharing your valuable words. Now, moving on further, we have another guest of honor with us, Professor Shafiq Qidwai sir. He is professor in Department of Mass Communication. He is a reputed scholar, well-known literary critic and columnist, a recipient of India's highest literary award, Sahitya Academy Award for Urdu in the year 2019. He is also recipient of prestigious literary award, Iqbal Samman, in the year 2017. Also, Government of Madhya Pradesh and Amir Khusro Award in the year 2018 from UP Urdu Academy. He has published more than 13 books in Urdu and English language. His recent book, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, Reason, Religion and Nation, is published by Taylor and Francis too. His words on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan will surely enlighten us today. तुम आ गए हो तो कुछ चांद सी बात हो जाए, तुम आ गए हो तो कुछ चांद सी बात हो जाए, ज़मीं पर कहाँ चांद रोज रोज उतरा करते हैं. With these lines, I would like to invite Professor Shafiq Idwai sir to share his words and views with us.
Shah, sir, you mic.
Sir, you are
mic
not
is
audible.
on.
Switch on your mic, sir.
Okay, okay. Yes,
Sir, you are
yes.
muted.
Okay, sorry for that. So first, I just want to profusely thank Graham, Colonel G.F. Graham, wrote the first book, Life and Work of Syed Ahmad Khan, was published by Edinburgh, and 1901, Hayati Javed was published. So whatever writings, whatever opinion you have, they are all originated from Ali. So, and I think the growth of thousands of books and thousands of articles have already been published. So why there is any need for anyone to write a new book on Satyajit? Why it is so? So that was the basic question I would try to answer. Satyajit's relevance in the present context, in the world we live in, we say we live in a post-truth world and fact-free world. In the fact-free world, what the Satyajit contribution is. So I will be talking to not more than 20 minutes. I will try to summarize what the Satyajit relevance is and some important points. You see, Dr. Samdani explained very well, and he talked about his idea of nationalism, his religious thought he discussed, and he disagreed. Yes, he has every right to disagree. You see, agreement is the most unexciting thing in the world. When tend to disagree with people. So this apart, so I would be discussing why. You see, Sir Syed, largely known as the founder of Aligarh University, and his contribution to education and reforms and social reforms and religious reform are discussed time and again. Do you think it is the only contribution? But my question is, or my book published by Routledge and earlier it was published by Routledge USA, and recently South Asian Division was launched. So I just tried to locate Satyajit in new perspective. What was the Satyajit's intention? You see, in 19th century, four or five points I would be making about Satyajit, which I think not much ink has been expended around these topic. The first is in 19th century India, Dr. Santani referred to Raja Ram Mohan Rai and many other thinkers you can talk about. So perhaps Satyajit was the first Muslim public intellectual. Public intellectual in a Muslim, I'm afraid you won't find many. You see, 19th century India, there are some big questions related to governance, related to supplication, related to religious reforms and social practices. They just propped up India. Some basic questions, pertinent questions, they robbed India. So not many, you won't find anyone from us, I think the Indian Muslim though to answer it. Apart from before coming to that, one more important point is if you just look at the history of Indian Muslim, you see Muslim ruled India for more than 700 years, and you see after 1857, after 1757, when the Plassey War was lost by Muslims, first time they realized they are living in a country. They are living in a country when the ruler is not Muslim and they are not in majority. You see, earlier it was not like that. Earlier, at least Muslim were never in majority in India, but still the ruler was Muslim. So they have a sense of belonging or sense of new kind of sense of belonging they have. But the first time you live in a society where you don't have a majority and the ruler does not belong to you. So how to live in that society? In a plural society, the society that is somewhat very alien. They got a different cultural practices, they have different faith. Then how to live it? How to live in that society? It is the basic questions. So no, I'm afraid no Muslim scholar, even before that, if you look up the teachings of Imam Ghazali and others, Shah Waliullah and Muhaddis Tehri talk about, and many people. This kind of new challenge just threw up. And Jamaluddin Afghani, Sheikh Muhammad Abdahu, later on they took up and they answered. Their answer was very skewed, and I would be talking to that. Yes, what was his concept of Muslim Ummah or something like that. So in that context, Satyajit emerged. So he was the first person to show the way. So I'm talking about that. What was the civil society? Civil society was coming up in India. So what Satyajit did in 1864, apart from being a founder of Aligarh Muslim University, MO College, everybody talks about. But before that, 1864, he just established. All of you know that was a scientific society. In 1866, he just created a new public sphere that is known as Aligarh Institute. In 1870, he started a Tehzeeb Akhlaq. At that time, Latin Reading Club and Debating Society, they are all coming up. So Sir Syed supported all this, and he wrote extensively on all the questions related to your day-to-day life, big questions of human being and immediate questions and ultimate questions. He just answered through his. He was very prolific writer. He produced more than 70 books, and that was the Aligarh Institute that some guys are referred to. It was basically bilingual, but he was some material published in Arabic and Persian as well. So it was, I think, in Indian context, it was the first multilingual newspaper. Samdani Sahib referred to Raja Ram Mohan Rai's book Tuhfatul Muhyiddin. And one important point is he started Miratul Akhbar. Miratul Akhbar was the first, I'm talking about Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He started first Persian daily, even Iran. At that time, it was not, no newspaper was produced from Iran. Before Raja Ram Mohan Rai started, that was the Miratul Akhbar. So this apart, so Sir Syed just initiated a new dialogue or new kind of thing. He just created a new opening for public sphere. Public sphere is, sometimes someone would bail me out, it's not the only parliament, but it's societies and debating club and newspaper, and Sir Syed perfected the art of public speaking as well. He visited Calcutta and many places. He had been to Hyderabad and Punjab, and he was a very good orator. So he just tried to create a public awareness or public, I would say that was the public sphere. So that's why I'm saying he was the first Muslim public intellectual. This is the one aspect. The second aspect I will be talking to, Sir Syed was the first person, first author or whatever you can say, who wrote 4 texts on 1857. One is known as the Tarikh-e-Sarkashi-e-Bijnor, then the Asbab-e-Baghawatin, though actually it was not named. The people that talk about Sarkashi-e-Bijnor, the first book, and Sir Syed used the term, you know, that all of you, I think, know, Sarkashi means insurgency, isn't it? And the second book, in second book, he used the word Baghawat, but that's not true. And as soon as you utter the word Baghawat means people's participation. And this is you see, the book was Tarikh Asbab-e-Baghawatin that was rendered into English, and I think it read into more than 70 editions. The first book that was rendered into English and some other regional languages. But the point is, the original name Sir Syed, it was not the name of Sir Syed's original book. Sir Syed made in 1858, he wrote a book, and the name of the book was Tarikh-e-Sarkashi-e-Hind Ka Jawab. It's not Baghawat. I hold no grief for Sir Syed, but the people that they just make argument that it was Sarkashi, then it was Baghawat. No, it is not. Sir Syed consistently wrote that it was an insurgency. It was some kind of revolt provoked by some sepoys and some other people living in the upper half of this from Meerut to Jhansi. Nothing else. What happened in say South India and Bombay and some other countries, you won't find any traces of that. This revolt. And the third text is the land movements of India. And one of his letter, not this letter, he wrote a letter to the Secretary to Indian Affairs, 5 running into 10 pages. So he produced 4 texts on 1857 to understand what it is. So I think no, that Ghalib wrote Persian Roznam Cha, Dastambo, or diary, I would say. It was a diary, and he explained in what way 1857 affected us, but how 1857 left indelible mark on us. The Satyad, I think there are some other books. Munshi Jivan Lal, that was a Jasoos state government. His Rosman Cha chronology was published, and some 2 or 3 books you will find. But no author has produced full text on 1858. Satyad did it. So this is what the point I was just making is. It was just 1875 onwards, 1875 Madrasatul Uloom came to be. Madrasatul Uloom and many things you are all of you aware of. I'm not here to talk about because it is that one without saying, isn't it? So it is too obvious, and obvious has made us blind. So I will be talking about, because I think I have 20 minutes, I have to go somewhere else. I just addressed 2 or 3 webinar. Again, I'm getting a call, but still I will try to show you as Samdani Sahab told in what is the Saty's relevance in today's time. So I will be giving you a specific example. Samdani Sahab referred to Saty's religious thought. He said God has made two sets of promises. One is work of God, and another one is the word of God. Work of God is nature. The world we live in, it is based on causes. There is a cause, and there is another thing that we say rationalism, and other thing is the word of God is the Quran. This apart, so in Saty's relevance today, I would say first time he just discussed the blasphemy. Blasphemy is still a very issue that fires our imagination. And what the Muslim what they do when this kind of deplorable act of blasphemy occurs, what we do, we try to get the book banned, or just we go for violent protest. We know the vociferous front protest, and we just get the book banned or just burn the book. And what Satyad did in 1866, 1864, when William Moore's book was published, what Satyad did early, the Satyad was a member of Asra Council, and he had 2 newspapers at his disposal, 2 periodicals, Aligarh Institute Gazette and Telegraph Law. He could easily got it. He could have easily got the book banned, or he could have started a vociferous campaigns against the blasphemy and get the book banned. But Satyad didn't did that. Satyad, what Satyad did, he went all the way England when his second son Syed Mahmood got the scholarship. He just accompanied him. He went to England and he studied, and he wrote a very dispassionate and objective rebuttal, Khutbat Ahmadiyya. So what he suggested, in Urdu, if you want to tell me, because so many students are there, what he did, he just said that the kitab ka jawab kitab hai, kitab ka jalana nahi. For the many years we are doing that. What the Satyad take was, Satyad went all the way, and your job is to retort. It's no like that. If you just get the book banned, your argument is to be countered with a counter argument, isn't it? Every argument must be countered. If you want, why we go for violence, why we go for capital punishment? What does it mean? It means that shows that you have no argument. That's why you are relying to or resorting to abuses. Isn't it? You cannot do anything. You cannot reform a person, so you just try to hang him. So when you hang him, it is your bevasi, it is your helplessness, it's not your power. You have power, you can do whatever you wish, but this is not like that. So this is the one aspect. The another aspect is Professor Akbar Ali Saab is here. He would bail me out, and Samdani Saab, MP Saab is also there. So in the blasphemy, he just theoretical. He took a very. I was surprised to see the Satyad argument. In 1873, there was a riot between Muslims and Parsis in Bombay. What was the issue? The issue was one of the Zoroastrian published a book published in Persian. He got it translated into Urdu, and it was a book having a deplorable abuses against Prophet and many things like that. I would agree for that. So Satyad wrote an editorial, and he just initiated a debate on blasphemy. And he made a very pertinent point. I just need to these 2 scholars, they would bail me out. Satyad said, as far as the blasphemy is concerned, he said, Quranic verses on this count are mute. Quran does not tell you if this happened, what we will do. And if it is deplorable act, and you know the Prophet's time, it had happened several times, and some of them were punished, and majority of them, yeah, Munafiq and many people were there, and Prophet pardoned him. So when the Islamic State or Islam became the state religion and Islamic State came into being, then the Khulfa and the Khulfa Rashida and the other people, they just suggested corporal punishment or capital punishment. Then the Sarziyat makes a very important point. What he said if you, at that time, Islam was a state religion. If you write against Islam or against Prophet, it means you are writing against the state. So it is more or less is like law of sedition, isn't it? If you write against the state, you see, it's still you have a draconian law in India and Pakistan and even in USA and UK. You will find if you write against the nation, what will happen? So he said blasphemy is like that, isn't it? So that is, but in India, no Islamic, it was not Islamic state. So this provision, if you hurl abuses to our beloved Prophet, then you have to, the matter is to be decided by the relevant law, isn't it? It's not that you go, you just come to the street and decide your own, isn't it? If it is like that, it's not a bounty hunt. If somebody indulges in that, you say it is a 5 crore ka inam hai. It is not bounty hunt. It is to be decided by the court. It is not like that. But this is the Satriyat relevance. This is the Satriyat vision. Just don't carry it away by your emotions, isn't it? So it is a very, very important point he made. So that's why it's a very, very important point. Another issue is conversion, isn't it? He made a difference between the forced conversion and voluntary conversion. You see, at that time, missionaries were there. So Satriyat wrote many a times that it was against the human nature, and it was not that you go for changing religion. He said it is a voluntary, yes, individual can be allowed, but there should not be any institutional activity. At that time, Christian missionaries were indulged in that, and Satriyat deplored it. One of the IS officers, because I worked on Satriyat's bilingual publication, Aligarh together. So I just cut through 14,000 pages. So many instances I just picked up. One IS officer, Richard Melville, converted to Islam, and the British government terminated his service. Then the Satriyat wrote, had it been the case otherwise, if a Muslim would have converted to Christianity, what would happen? So it is a vice versa. Only the Muslim, if the Muslim is converted to Christianity, you just welcome. If the Christian converted to Islam, then you punish him. So this kind of duality should not be there. So he talked about the conversion. For him, conversion, individual has the liberty to just change his faith, but not in institutional or government position. And one of the basic aspects, the Muslim, that people think, the Muslim says, and so many writers are there, isn't it? Francis Robinson, today we have given him a prize. His book is very famous, Separatism Among the Muslims, 1860 to 1920. He talked about the Muslim separatism, isn't it? So the concept of Satriyat, concept of Watan and nation, it just still gives you ammunition to both admirers and critics. So the Pakistani, they say, no, he has the traces. Samdani Sahib referred to some of the Satriyat supports. Hindu Muslim, they belong to the same community, and they are the Hindu Muslim do aake. It is very famous quote. There are so many times Satriyat, but this is the nation was a very slippery concept, isn't it? Nation, Satriyat did not make any difference between citizenship, nationalism, and patriotism. But at that time, yes, he made a difference between the patriotism and nationalism. He says that patriotism, hubbul watani, he said you love your country, there is no harm in it. But nationalism as a political ideology, in 18th century, Samdani Sahib would tell me, and Balali Sahib would tell me, so when the European states came into being, so it is a concept that derives sustenance from hatred. You think you are superior, your language is superior, your culture is superior, your food habits are superior. So nation is based on concept of nationalism, draws sustenance from hating others. Unlike Hubbul Watani, patriotism, yes, you love your country, there's no harm in it. But as a political ideology, then the Sir Syed made a difference between the citizenship and nationalism. And Sir Syed, at one time, he talked about, yes, nationalism means the people they're living in a country, just they belong geographical area, yes, it is nationalism. The people they speak a language, it is the basis of territory based nationalism we talked about. And at one places it is not. Sir Syed, I think, made so many points, isn't it? At one of the speeches, he said in the very 1883, he says, before the prophethood, before the advent of Islam, before our prophet came, what was the basis of nationalism? He said it was the geographical area. You belong to a particular area, then you are a one nation. I am speaking Urdu, so Urdu बोलने वाले एक कौम, Punjabi बोलने वाले एक कौम. When the prophet came, then the new idea emerged. Then he talked about the faith-based nationalism. One person saying La ilaha illallah, another is not saying. So he made a difference between the two, isn't it? This is the 2 or 3 examples are there. So what I hold no brief for it. But the point is, Sir Syed, as like a great personality, he was not a reconciler, isn't it? He was very good at making contradictory statement. This is the human nature. You do everything very impeccably, but your phone is ringing, you are not picking it up. So man is full of contradiction. So was Sir Syed. Sir Syed lived in contradictions. If you just his writings, I have little knowledge about his writing. I think running into thousands of pages, and you will find different interpretations, isn't it? So you cannot find a single narrative. This apart, one person does a thing, one person write a thing. I write for Hindu, I write for Hindustan Times. For example, so many times I write and I make different points. When we come to act, Samdani Sahib is here, he's a member of parliament. If he's saying something, but when he sits in the parliament, he does something, then that is much more important. What he's saying is all right, but what he does, how he acts is very, very important. You have to judge a person on it. So I will give that specific example. In my book, I just given so many examples. Isn't it? Sir Syed was made a member of Viceroy Council. Twice he was a member of Viceroy Council. What he did? Before that, he was made the member of Royal Public Service Commission in 1883. Hutchison was the governor of Punjab. He was made the chairman of Public Service Commission. Sir Syed was one of the member. Here you will find when he was the member of Viceroy Council, he was a member of Public Service Commission, he was a member of Education Commission, he was member of Northwest Province Legislative Council. What he did as a OSD, what he did. Now come to that point. You see, in the meeting of Public Service Commission, what he did, he made 2 demands. Later on, they were picked by the Congress. He made 2 demands. Whether what was his contour of nation? Yes, there is a debate. And 99–80% he talked about the unity of the nation and Hindu Muslim they belong to one thing. But when the 1866 there was a movement, Nagri Prachani Sabha launched a campaign against Urdu, then he made some unsavory remarks about the people they live with them in Banaras. So when he was the member of Public Service Commission, he made 2 demands. What was his demand? That ICS examination should also be held in India. And the second demand is the entry age at that time was 21 years. He said for Indians, because the Indians, they start education quite late. So it should be raised to 23 years. There's no question of Hindu and Muslim. There's no question of anything else, isn't it? And in Viceroy Council, he moved 2 or 3 bills. One bill was a smallpox eradication bill. We talk about epidemic right now. But Sir Syed said, in 1883, he moved a bill. Sir Syed was the first person, non-official member. He moved a bill that the smallpox eradication bill or smallpox eradication must be made, vaccination must be made compulsory in the Northwest Province and Central Province. There's no question of Hindu and Muslim. And then the bill was moved, Albert Bill. It was known as the Albert Bill. Albert Bill, what was the Albert Bill was? Sir Syed was member of select committee, and Anglo-Indians, they were against the bill. What was the bill was? The bill was, Professor Balali, Professor Law would take me out. Albert Bill first time empowered Indian judges to to hear the criminal cases of Britishers. They committed some crimes. At that time, Indian judges were not allowed. Civil cases, yes, they could hear, but not criminal cases. So Albert Bill empowered them. So all the Raja Shiv Prasad and some other members were there. They opposed it. They said, no, Indians are not competent enough to deal with that kind of situation. And the Anglo-Indians, they were behind that. But he supported. He was the member of select committee, and he saw to it the bill is passed, isn't it? And this is his opposition to this is his concept. Then I just said he was a member of the Education Commission, and what he said. So whenever you saw when Sir Syed, when it comes to act, Sir Syed never acted in a partisan manner. If you just read his writing, yes, you can find. If you are good at selective writing, you can talk about so many things. And the one point I would say, at the time, the Pakistani says, or some right-wing historian says that the Sir Syed was the even Girilal Jain in Times of India, he wrote this, Sir Syed sowed the seed of Muslim separatism and something like that. Here, the point is, if you go through Sir Syed's writing, he never used the term Ummah. He never used. At that time, Jamaluddin Afghani and Sheikh Muhammad Abdahu, they are pitching for it. That all the Muslims living across the globe, they belong to single unity. They are the Ummah. But in Sir Syed's writing, very strangely, you will never find any reference. Isn't he said, no, everywhere Islam has a different local color, isn't it? Local cultural aspirations is there, is not. So Ottoman Empire or Khilafat for all the Muslims, he said, no, it is a utopian idea, it should not be there. So the person who never used the term Ummah, then how can you talk about that he was the protagonist of two-nation theory? Just when I'm not saying I would no grief for him, I would time and again I would say, isn't it? So this is his way of looking at. So take the example of blasphemy, take the example of conversion, take the example of cow sacrifice. Now it is a very burning issue. You see, in 1870, there was a communal, 1871, communal riot took place in Meerut and Azamgarh during Bakrid. A cow slaughter was there. Sir Syed wrote two or three articles against it. He said the duty of a Muslim is they should give up. He quoted the example of Akbar, even in Jahangir, they are not allowed. And he said, this is a very, very important point. He said 1875, when the Madrasatul Ulum was set up, at that time beef was very common. He said, no, beef will not be served at Aligarh University, at every college. At that time, 1875, 1880, beef was served very easily everywhere. In Kerala, your state, it is there. But beef was never served since its inception, 1875 to 2021. It was Sir Syed's vision. He said, no, it should not be served because it is unnecessary thing. It may cause heartburn. So that's why religious tolerance Professor Balani was talking about. So Sir Syed gave the specific example. And one aspect that is also there that has to be looked into, his concept of female education. The people still is being pillow-right. And so many people, so many scholars, Gail Meno talked about, David Tennyman talked about, and I would say, Sir Syed was not, again, I'm not apologetic, but Sir Syed's concept of female education, I would say, it was very skewed and very limited. He said he just made a plea and he just argued vehemently in favor of tutor-based home education. He said, no. One of the reasons in this book, Asbab-e-Bagawat, popularly known, one of the reasons he said that the Britisher had set up co-education institution, co-education schools everywhere. So that led to uprising, that led to unrest. Why? What was the Sir Syed's argument against female education? He said that girls, they start education at the age of 7, 8. So after 2, 3 years, there is the age of puberty. There were hormonal changes. That's why there is a dropout. They would be absent for a week or 10 days. Then again they will join. It will cause problem. There will be shame. So they can't mix up with boys. So he talked about the book he referred to, education for second sex. Hawks books was very famous, that was published in 1870. So Sir Syed made this kind of thing. So as far as Sir Syed's concept is there, and Sir Syed made a very common sense and simplistic argument. He said, let boys and men education first. First get them educated, then you will start. It is so simplistic. It is not like that. You see, when any kind of reform, any kind of revolution take place, it has to take place simultaneously. Take the example of Islam. When the Prophet started Islam, it was not that only the elders would be allowed to embrace Islam, or boys or girls. No, it was simultaneously, isn't it? Reform has to take place simultaneously. It can't be selective. Take the example of cultural revolution or French revolution. Everywhere it is simultaneous. But Sir Syed offered a very simplistic view. He said, no, let first boys get educated, then we will start. Who will decide? And how many generations would be lost? So his argument, I think, holds no water as far as modern world is concerned. But again, you can't say that the Sir Syed was the voice of patriarchy. Why I'm saying this? 1870, when he visited England, and he spent 19 months there, isn't it? You see, before Sir Syed, 4 Muslim travelers, Talib Amli and Yusuf Khan Kambalposh, Sheikh Fasiuddin Etemadullah, 4 travelers, they visited England. What they did, what they talk about, they always talk about the promiscuity of British girls. He talked about they are very indiscreet in establishing relations and sexual relations. He talked about, and their revealing growth they talked about. And when Sir Syed was there, what he did, he was a stopover at Paris, and he met with a girl, sales girl. She was polyglot. She knew 4 languages, and Sir Syed wrote editorial in support of him. So whenever he saw empowered ladies, he always praised. Unlike other Muslim writers at that time, they were only talked about how flirt they were. British girls were flirt or something like that. So this, as far as this kind of his concept of female education is concerned, yes, Sir Syed, though it was not male gaze, it was not there, but still the solution he just formulated, that was not. But still, I would say Sir Syed was not the voice of patriarchy, isn't it? Then he talked about rationalism and sentimentalism, and he started a new kind of journalism. He said public service journalism. Before that, you will find very ornate language. He made a difference between the views and news and editorial and many things. He just created a new kind of awakening. So what was if you want to tell me what was the Sir Syed's contribution to the modern world? So take the example of jihad, take the example of blasphemy, take the example of conversion, take the example of reservation for Muslims. Again, a very interesting point, Sardari Saab, Sir Syed. You see, at one level, Sir Syed, when 1883 the bill was moved, local state bill was moved, then was the direct franchise, that the 1-to-1 vote was there. Sir Syed opposed it. He said, no, India at that time was not nation was not a one nation. So there are so many other loyalties except for nation, caste loyalties, faith loyalty were there. He said, if it is so, if the 1-to-1 vote, the Hindus will certainly outnumber us, isn't it? 80% Hindus and 20% Muslims. If there's a 1-to-1 vote, what would happen? Then in Lord Ripon, he made a presentation to Lord Ripon. He was a member that at least 20% seat be reserved for Muslims, for minority. Then it was accepted. This is the one aspect. This is a political reservation. But in 1884, 1886, Anjuman Islamia Punjab made a demand that in Punjab, Muslim in a government service, Muslim percentage is very low. Their population was more than 50%, but in government service, it's 5%. It should be raised. So they should be given 15% reservation. Then the Sir Syed ruled against their demand. He said, no, education and employment, it has to be based on merit, isn't it? Our tehreek, hamari tehreek, apni help aap pe. It is not. Government is not meant for providing you job or giving you admission on religion religion. At political level, yes, it's all right. But as far as, so it is very, very, I think, radical view. He talked about it at one level, he made a plea for reservations, isn't it? Political level. The political participation he did. But at this kind of thing, this was something, this I just wrote 2 pieces published in the press. So what the point I would talk about, as far as Sathya's, you can say, vision is concerned, is modern education, yes, everybody talks about, isn't it? But Sathya's others adumbrations or writings on plethora of things. The jihad is there and blasphemy is there, and so many issues I just discussed in my book in a very detailed manner. This concept of gender equality, this concept of some other things that has to be taken into account. But unfortunately, what happened? We think Mr. Syed is known all over the world as the founder of Aligarh University. Yes, he was, no doubt about it. But Sir Syed, what the point, my book is just praised for that. Sir Syed was certainly more than that. And on so many occasions, so many things, we live in a society where truth is no longer there. We live in a post-truth period, isn't it? Truth is what? Concrete facts are different and our belief is different. So here, how to find a way. And the Hindu, today Hindu carried away a detailed interview of me. They asked me if there's a jingoism and right-wing nationalism is there. Sir Syed, if Sir Syed had been to this time, what would have it, how he would have responded to Hindu-led or right-wing nationalism? I said, I take the example, I just given the example. Sir Syed just made a alternate model of modernism that is against the indigenous model of modernism that is again that was in contrast to colonial modernism. Then he talked about the constitutional nationalism. You have a constitution, the rights were there, and Hannah Arendt, very famous thinker, talked about civic nationalism. Civic nationalism means the rights we have in constitution, the values India stands for, tolerance and pluralism, and many things are there. So apart, what was the Satyaj's take on nationalism? Satyaj's take would be, he would have gone for civic nationalism or constitutional nationalism. That is the way the Muslims, they also push for that. It's not that separate as a faith, you go for MIN or you go for Muslim politics. What was your idea? Your idea is, we have to, Satyaj, had it been here, he would have, I believe my little writing or my little knowledge about Satyaj says he would have gone for civic nationalism. So that was the real intake. I think I have spoken a lot. Thank you very much for giving me some opportunity. I'm thankful to Dr. Faisal and some other, and Professor Iqbal and Saldani Saab and so many people I'm saying I'm here. So if you have any question, any student have a question, I can answer briefly. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shafe sir. Thank you so much for enriching the message. Now, without further ado, I will request Advocate Moideen sir, an alumnus of Aligarh Muslim University, to please share his few words with us. Moideen sir, your mic is off. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Now it is audible. Now it's audible, I think. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are audible, sir.
The respected member of Parliament, Abdul Samad Samadani Saab, who delivered a bombarding inaugurating speech. Our Director of Aligarh Muslim University Center, Dr. Faisal Saab. The respected Professor Iqbal Ali Khan Saab, who delivered a presidential address. Dr. M. Shafia Kidwai Saab, who delivered the keynote address, explaining all the details with regard to the non-communal attitude of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan Sahab. Then respected Adil Aziz, Zainab Ghazi, Surab Sharma, Usma Shafiq Ashfaq, Dr. Rahul V. Rajan, and all the dear participants who are in the platform. by being the president of Aligarh Muslim University World Students Association of Kerala chapter, I am an invitee to this venue, for which I should convey heartily thanks to the respected organizers of this function. Now, it is as far as every Aligarhians are concerned, every person who studied Aligarh, who happened to be an older student or being a present student, he will definitely lack of words to explain the details, the good things done by the Lord Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. As the respected friends already been explained here, I need not go to that aspects much in detail. We all know that a man who is born at Delhi, a man who is brought up Delhi, a man who happened to be a servant of this British dynasty as well as East India Company, a man happened to be a judge of a court, everything was there. But the real reformer, the real philosopher, the real educationalist who is inside Sir Syed Ahmad Khan has been came out by introducing schools at Muradabad and Anglo-Oriental Muslim Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh. So the man who really believed that education is the only way out to bring the downtrodden communities and minorities to uplift them to the mainstream. That was the principle on which respected Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was doing things. Now, our inaugurator, the respected Abdul Samad Samadani Saab already been delivered a speech saying that with regard to the non-communal attitude of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, the words of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, which is reminded by our respected Abdul Samad Samadani Saab, that is, it is the Hindus and Muslims are two beautiful eyes of a bride. If one is lost, that becomes ugly. So it's very simple. It is all in the minimum words, everything has been explained, and he thought of that there should be a non-communal India, so there should be all the people, there should be unity, and all the people should live together and to be together and to go further. That was the intention. So my respected friends, I need not go beyond all these things. We all know that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was fearless with regard to every aspect. Because for that, the only example is that the book he wrote, The Causes of Indian Revolt. That is against the British people, the rulers of that time. So he was fearless to write such a book. In addition to this, he was a critic which made unpleasant the religious fundamentalists and declared him as a kafir. So can we say that he is a man who was fearing with all of these things? Can we say that he was a Masiha who was dependent with regard to the religious fundamentalism? Nothing. But he only thought of that the minorities, the downtrodden community, the low-level people of the country has to be brought up by educating them. They require modern education. They require scientific education. That was the only intention, which made Aligarh Muslim University became one of the famous universities of the world, which made us, all of us, to create us. It is became golden cradle for the students of the entire country, not only of India, but from abroad also. We know that much prominent personalities like presidents of Pakistan, Prime Minister of Pakistan, President of India, Chief Ministers of various states, judges of High Court and Supreme Court, cricketers, hockey players. It goes like that. We cannot, that won't end anywhere. It is all creation of Aligarh. Whatever light lit by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, the light spread all over the country, which made us, which is in fact, we are now enjoying the status which now we have, which we are maintaining the personality, which to maintain. So we are all obliged to the Lord Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. That is for the words which I will have to say at this moment. Anyhow, we are lucky that our respected, our member of the parliament, Abdul Samad Samadani Saab, being, agreed to inaugurate this venue. We, the old students of the Kerala unit, also conducting celebrating the Sir Syed Day today at 7 p.m. So at occasion, I appropriate this venue to invite all of you to join our meeting also at 7 p.m. today. That also, we are lucky and unfortunate to say that our function is also inaugurating by the same inaugurator that is none other than the respected Parliament member Abdul Samad Samadani. So, my dear friends, I conclude my words by wishing all the best to this venue and praying to the Almighty to bless all of us. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Advocate Mordin sir, for your words. Now, without consuming any time, I would like to invite Mr. Aziz, an alumnus of Aligarh Muslim University, Malappuram campus, to enlighten us with his words.
Thank you very much. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. MP Abdul Samad Samadani Sahib, respected Member of Parliament from the Malappuram constituency, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan, Coordinator of AMU Malappuram AMU Centers at AMU Aligarh, Professor Shafiq Idwai Sahib, Department of Mass Communication and Sahitya Academy Award winner, dear respected Director Dr. Faisal KP sir, friends Zainab Ghazi, Saurabh Sharma, Uzma Shafiqa, and alumni and my dear friends. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good evening to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to have this opportunity to use this platform to speak a few words on the sidelines of this August occasion of the Sir Syed Day celebrations at my AMU Malappuram Center campus. I'm an alumnus of AMU Malappuram Center. I'm an alumnus of the MBA batch, the very first batch from AMU Malappuram Center. And the time that me and my friends spent at the campus has left a very indelible mark on our personalities, on a personal level, as well as on a professional. So I, as an alumnus, and I'm sure everyone who are alumnus of AMU Malappuram Center feel very strongly when we speak about our campus, about the opportunities that the campus has opened to us while we studied there. And we are always looking forward to see our campus grow as we move forward in the coming years. So I'll take the brief time that is allotted to me. As you know, all the esteemed panelists and the guests have already spoken at length about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. They have taken a deep dive into how he has, about his philosophy and how he has shaped modern education for Indian Muslims. So I'm not at all in a position to comment on those things, but I will just take a few minutes to speak about AMU Malappuram Center and what we have to do as alumni and students. Just share my brief thoughts regarding that. So the AMU Malappuram Center, as you all know, it was envisaged. It was envisaged on the basis of the Sitar Committee, and it was the launching of the AMU Malappuram centers at Malappuram, Kishanganj in Bihar, and Murshidabad in West Bengal. It was actually branded as the relaunch of the Aligarh movement in India. So Aligarh, we all know what the Aligarh movement is like. So it was like a second educational renaissance that was supposed to happen with the launch of these centers. And we, in all our capacity as alumni and as students of AMU Malappuram Center, we have that responsibility to uphold that dream and vision and ensure that AMU Malappuram Center and all the students coming out studying from AMU Malappuram Center uphold the legacy of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan as well as the Malappuram Center as we move forward in our personal and professional lives. This time is actually a time of great difficulty for us because of COVID-19. Many of us have been affected in many ways. Like everyone has been affected in one way or the other because of the pandemic. Many of us have lost our dear ones because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and our livelihoods have been affected. A lot of things have been affected because of COVID-19. So this is for a campus like AMU Malappuram Center, this itself, and for AMU Aligarh, this is also a great. It's the biggest challenge that I can say that the AMU Aligarh or AMU Malappuram Center has been facing for now. But at the same time, even though this is a challenge, we can see this as an opportunity. Victory comes to those who convert challenges into opportunities. So we, it is our duty, to convert. AMU Malappuram Center is like it's like a flower that needs to be nourished by students, by the alumni, as well as the administration, in order to grow into a full-fledged campus, into a full-blown university in the coming years. So for us, for that, we as students and alumni, we have a very important role to play. So it is is the way that we carry ourselves in our professional lives, in our social lives, in our personal lives. That all gives an insight into how we have been groomed or how we have been educated. And when people ask where this person has been educated from, we can proudly say that we are an alumnus of AMU Malappuram Center. So it is our duty as students and as allies of AMU Malappuram Center, in order to uphold the name of Aligarh Muslim University as well as AMU Malappuram Center wherever we go, and ensure that our university's name is carried at the highest pedestal, as we move forward in our professional and personal lives. What we can, as our campus is still in a nascent phase, we have a lot of restrictions with regard to infrastructure, with regard to buildings and so on, which are not essentially in our control as students and alumni. But what we have in our control is our intellectual capital. So we as students and alumni should use the time that we spend in the campus in order to grow that intellectual capital and ensure that you get the maximum amount of learning from the campus and use that as we move forward in our lives. I can always, recall with utmost pleasure the times that I spent with my friends from Delhi and Aligarh while they were studying here at the Malappuram Center. Our campus was, in fact, it has actually become a place where the two different kinds of cultures are actually meeting, and the best of the cultures are exchanged between each other. That is the North and the South cultures. So, my friends, especially my friends from Delhi and Aligarh and from other parts of North India, our class had a very strong diversity. We had students of from 5 different states in our class, and we were able to share our culture, share the way that we live in Kerala, and they were able to share the different kinds of cultures that they had in their state, and it was all a great learning experience for all of us. And many years after that, it's been 10 years since we have passed out from there. And many years after that, even when we talk with them, they still say that the learning that they have got while studying at the AMU Malappuram Center campus is the biggest thing, and that has given them a definite edge when they are actually working in their professional lives, which is actually the biggest advantage which I can see of students coming to Malappuram and studying from the campus over here. So again, I will conclude. I will not take more of your time, and I will just conclude once again, just to remind everyone that the AMU Malappuram Center is actually born from the sacrifices of a lot of people. Some people, their names are known. Some people, the names are not known. So it is our duty as students and as alumni and as office bearers of this great campus, in order to uphold, to make sure that the name and the dream of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan is actually moving forward in Kerala. With this, I'd like to conclude my words, and I would like to once again warmly wish everyone a very happy Sir Syed Day. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adil Aziz, for the motivational words of yours. Now we have different talents at Aligarh Muslim University Malappuram Center, and to acknowledge the same, I invite Master Sheikh Mahmood, the student Department of Business Administration, to deliver the speech on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Asher. Honorable Chair, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan Sahab, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Abdul Samad Samdani Sahab, Chief of Honor, Dr. Shafiq Idwai Sahab, Respected Director, Dr. Faisal KP Sahab, dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good evening. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan is scholar reformer, a philosopher, a leader, or an educationist. In my humble opinion, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan is above from all kind of stratification. He was, in true sense, an intellectual, inclusive, and diverse personality with a remarkable quality of leadership and a democratic spirit. On 24th anniversary of his birth, I pay tribute to great visionary Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Joined East India Company and served in judicial department in various states, the emergence of the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was mainly witnessed after the revolt of 1857. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was loyal to Britishers at that time, for which he was even criticized publicly. But as he witnessed the after effects of the revolt, how Indians were brutally discriminated on the basis of education, language, religion, and whatnot, Sir Syed rose to the occasion and wrote the book called Asbab-e-Bagawat-e-Hind, that is, the causes of the Indian revolt, in which he boldly and fiercely condemned the British government and advised them to respect the Indian culture, its heritage, and its people. While other high-ranking and educated officials were putting efforts in achieving high ranks and widening their own horizons, it was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan who realized the need of the hour and initiated contributing himself for the upliftment of the community and betterment of the country. Sir Syed, by being closely acquainted with British officials, had obtained knowledge about how British colonial politics, practices, and educations work. And hence he knew that violent approaches were not the solution to fight with the Britishers and overcome other related hurdles. It was his belief that a colonial establishment could be won over through the battle of knowledge, values, and perception. He thus visioned for modern education. However, amidst the daunting years of violent imperialism and conservatism, to persuade Muslims toward modern education was the most difficult task for Sir Syed, because Muslims were at that time so committed to traditional values and practices. Muslims were also used to abominate everything that had foreign roots. Even after knowing this, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan commenced the trajectory of transforming the Muslim community educationally by laying the foundation of scientific society with an aim and vision to instill the scientific temperament among Muslims. Through Tehzibul Akhlaq, Sir Syed tried to explain Muslims in very lucid language that even amid so many hurdles and obstacles, the only thing that could save you and upcoming generation is education. In the pursuance of the aim and vision of modern education, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan then laid the foundation of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, which later took the shape of the Aligarh Muslim University. Students of the Aligarh Muslim University should be filled with pride to know that they are all a part of one of the world's most reputed university. It would be hardly an exaggeration to say that no single institution has done so much for a community as this university has done for the promotion of higher education and modern culture among the Muslims. Sir Syed was a firm believer of multiculturalism. Throughout his influential writings, he emphasized the need for Hindu-Muslim unity for maintaining and strengthening the composite culture of India. His firm belief is clearly reflected in the statement he made, that is, Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of the beautiful bride called Hindustan. Sir Syed wrote elaborately about his expectations from students of the institution. He has built this magnificent Aligarh Muslim University with an expectation that the light of this institution will be carried far and wide till the darkness disappears from all around. As Sir Syed said, the first and requisite for the progress of a nation is the brotherhood and unity amongst the section of the society. So let's put our efforts together and maintain the brotherhood and unity. Sir Syed also stated, when a nation becomes devoid of arts and learning, it invites poverty. When poverty comes, it brings in its wake thousands of crime. So let's remain glued to arts and science and learning and excel in every realm we enter in. On this day, let's read out the history, revisit the legacy and contributions of the founder of Aligarh Muslim University, carry forward the ideas, vision, the ambition, the philosophies of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. To everyone present here, I wish you all a very happy Sir Syed Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Mahmood, for sharing your words. Now I would like to invite another speaker of the day, Mr. Saurabh Sharma, student of Law 15 at Malappuram campus, delivering his speech. Saurabh Sharma, please.
Yeah, I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
इस चमने सैयद ने दुनिया को संवारा है, इल्म की दौलत से हम सबको नवाजा है, दे दी नई पहचान कितनों को बनाया है, बड़े दिल से सर सैयद ने इस अंजुमन को सजाया है. Respected Chair of the function, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan sir, Coordinator AMU Centers, Chief Guest Dr. MP Samdani Saab, Member of Parliament, Malappuram Lok Sabha Constituency, Guest of Honor, Professor Kidwai sir, Director of the Center, Dr. Faisal KP sir, faculty, non-teaching staff, alumni, students, and everyone present here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to say that there is no comparison of the most respectful personality of not only India, but all over the world, known as Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was the multi-talented son of Hindustan. He was the treasure of knowledge in different fields like in law, in history, in sociology, in mathematics, a scholar of Arabic, scholar of Urdu and Persian, and so on. The founder of Aligarh Muslim University set a unique example of lenity and peaceful coexistence in order to act like a civilized man. His principle was peace and tolerance and introduced modern education with the religious education. He was the bright role model also in interfaith relations. He wrote the first Muslim commentary on Bible, which exhorted adherents to the Islamic and Christian faiths to coexist and live together in harmony and affection. His work, Ahkam-e Tam'a li al-Kitab, where he not only focused on the Hindu-Muslim unity, but also advocated Muslim-Christian unity as well. Sir Syed once said that we will remain humiliated and rejected if we do not make progress. Sir Syed also once said, I may appear to be dreaming and talking like Sheikh Chilli,
What happened?
I guess there must be some network issue with Saurabh.
Okay then. Okay then, Nashir, we continue with Usma.
Okay, sir. So now we have Ms. Uzma Shafiqa Ashfaq, Student Department of Education, to deliver the beautiful words on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan.
Thank you, Mr. Asher.
Usma, please shorten your speech, okay? We have time constraints. Okay, continue.
दुर्रे फिशानी ने तेरी कतरों को दरिया कर दिया, दुर्रे फिशानी ने तेरी कतरों को दरिया कर दिया, खुद ना थे जो राह पर औरों के हादी बन गए, दिल को रोशन कर दिया, आंखों को बीना कर दिया, क्या नजर थी जिसने मुर्दों को मसीहा कर दिया. Assalamu alaikum and very good evening to Chair of the Function, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan, Director, Aligarh Muslim University, Malappuram Center, Faisal KP Sir, esteemed Chief Guest and Guest of Honor, the coordinators, respected teachers, my dear friends, and all of those who are present here. I am Uzma Shafiqa Ashfaq, a student, Department of Education. Feel privileged and proud to speak about the man who shaped millions of lives, generation after generation with his vision. A well-known Muslim educator, jurist, social reformer, philosopher, author, and principal motivating force behind the revival of Islam in late 19th century. Imagine for a second, if this man was not born 204 years ago, then most of us would still be living in darkness and ignorance. After the fall of Mughal Empire, the social and economical status of minority community had declined sharply. And this war had left further. And then the British took measures to ensure that their control was unchallenged. Sir Syed felt that this poor status of Muslim community was due to their treatment as second-class citizens, as British did not want them in Indian administration. Then this Sir Syed Ahmad Khan felt that the minority community could only win this challenge through modern education in the view of Sir Syed. But convincing the orthodox people was a Herculean task for him. Sir Syed single-handedly and selflessly continued and took the burden for reforming their faith. He abuses and begged for donations and even labeled as kafir by his own people. सींचा है इसे खून से हम तिश्ना लबों ने, सींचा है इसे खून से हम तिश्ना लबों ने, तब जाकर इस अंदाज का Mehkhana bana hai, starting with the Aligarh movement. He went on to establish scientific society and also published Tehzeeb-ul Akhlaq for bringing educational, ethical, and social reform. He laid the foundation of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College in 1875, and now it's become Aligarh Muslim University. Being the first modernist Islamic institution in the whole world, this university opened the doors of knowledge, experience, and opportunities for the students. And also, they produce memorable gems in different fields all over the world. Sir Syed promoted composite culture throughout of his life. He said, we Hindus and Muslims eat the same crop, drink water from the same rivers, and breathe same air. Sir Syed said, Hindus and Muslims are two eyes of beautiful bride, and the weakness of any of them would spoil the beauty of bride. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan said that he never think that Hindus and Muslims are different from each other. Taking a few names of innumerable gems of the university, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Dr. Hamid Ansari, Ismat Chugtai, Dhyan Chand, Mahindra Pratap, etc. Sir Syed said that you may call me by whatever names you like. I will never ask you for my salvation, but please take pity of your children, do something for them. To conclude, in the word of Sir Syed himself, he said, my advice to all of you, do only that which you believe to be right, and do not do anything which you do not believe. And this is the real truthfulness. This is the only thing on which success depends both the world. On behalf of Department of Education, I wish you all very happy Sir Syed Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Uzma. It was indeed a beautiful speech.
Ikra, you are not audible.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Now you are audible. Please write Asnat, sir.
शाम दर शाम जलेंगे तेरी यादों के चिराग, शाम दर शाम जलेंगे तेरी यादों के चिराग, नस्ल दर नस्ल तेरा दर्द नुमाया होगा. These lines of Majaz I would like to dedicate to Sir Syed Ahmad Khan for establishing and blossoming the tree of the spirit of Aligarh Muslim University. Now it's time to discuss the results of the events held for Sir Syed. So, Ashir Bhai.
So yeah, it's time for appreciating the efforts of the students who have won different online competitions conducted by Department of Business Administration, Law Society, Department of Law, and Department of Education, AMU Malappuram Center. To announce the names of the winners, I would like to call Dr. Azmat Ali sir, joint convener of this program. Please, sir.
Respected Iqbal Ali Khan sir, coordinator AMU Center. Respected Professor M. Shafiq Kidwai sir, Department of Mass Communication, AMU Aligarh. Respected MP Abdul Samad Samdani sahab, respected Director Dr. Faisal KB, other dignitaries, esteemed colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Before official declaration of the results of distinguished and different events and competition has been organized by all three departments, Department of Law, Department of Business Administration, and Department of Education, under leadership of Dr. Shahnawaz Ahmad Malik and his team, Dr. Rino sir, and Dr. Muhammad Haris sir. I must wish you all very happy 204th birth anniversary of our founder, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. It is great matter of pride to be part of Aligarh and Aligarh fraternity. Aligarh Muslim University is not a mere institution. It is Taj Mahal and Lal Qala of Sir Syed's vision of education and ANU Malappuram Center is evidence of it. I would like to declare the results of different competition has been organized. Before that, I would like to say that the student, those who have participated more than 100, the kind of enthusiasm they have shown is really commendable, and they have taken very actively participation. Credit goes to the conveners who conducted this program. So let's start with quiz competition. That consolation prize. Let's start with the law faculty quiz competition. Consolation prize goes to Fatima as first year BLLB student. Second prize goes to, it is tie and shared by the Asjad Alam and Shanul Haq. And second prize goes to Shahnawaz Alam and Ummu Abida. First prize goes to Shamim Akhtar. Second event has been organized essay writing competition. Caption is Syed Vision of Education and Society. Consolation prize goes to Mehnaz Khatun, third year BLLB student. And third prize goes to Asjad Alam, third year BLLB. And second prize goes to tie between two persons, Muhammad Anas and Nizam and Ikra Shami. And first prize goes to Ahmad Bilal. Third event has been organized by law faculty, that is speech competition. Caption is Aligarh movement and its contribution in standing, humanity and brotherhood patriotism. Third prize goes to Nabil Masood, third year BLLB student. Second prize goes to Shaurabh Sharma, fifth year student. And first prize goes to Fatima as first year student. Department of Education, Department of Business Administration also organized a quiz competition 2021 on the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and related history. And the third prize goes to Iram Fatima, Department of Commerce, AMU Aligarh. Second prize goes to Ishraq Ali, Department of Business Administration, AMU Malappuram Center. And first prize goes to Atia Faridi, Department of English. Department of Education also organized an event, that is, caption is 17 failures for the 17. Third position goes to Tuba Rahman. Second position goes to Nabil Salman. And first position is tie between the Muhammad Shabir and Anam Sheikh. I would like to say that all congratulations to all winner and runner and those who have participated. They are the winner. I would like to end with this couplet. Nazar nazar mein utarna kamal hota hai. Nazar nazar mein utarna kamal hota hai. Nafas nafas mein बिखरना कमाल होता है. बुलंदियों पे पहुंचना कोई कमाल नहीं, बुलंदियों पर ठहरना कमाल होता है. Thank you very much for giving this wonderful opportunity to declare the result.
Thank you so much, Ahmed sir, and congratulations to all the winners too. We are about to end the program. To express a token of gratitude, I would like to call Dr. Raghu V. Rajan sir, General Convener of the event, to present the vote of thanks to us.
Thank you, Ikra. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Respected chair of the function, Professor Iqbal Ali Khan, chief guest MB Abdul Samadani Sahab, the guest of honor, Professor Shafiq Kidwai, Dr. Faisal KP, the director, and all the teachers of the center and students of the center, alumni, as well as participants from different corners of the country. As the convener of the program, it's my duty and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I propose the vote of thanks to the chief guest of the function, Dr. MB Abdul Samadani. He is always helpful and always ready when we are inviting him, and he always with the center for his with his warm presence. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. I express my heartfelt thanks to you on behalf of AMU Malappuram Center fraternity. I'm thankful to Professor Shafiq Idwai, also the person who delivered, the veteran scholar who delivered different aspects, the multiple aspects of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's personality. Professor Shafiq Idwai's contribution to this function is duly acknowledged, and I thank him as the convener of the program. A warm and heartfelt thanks for delivering the keynote address of this Sir Syed Day celebration 2021. Also, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Iqbal Ali Khan, the chair of the function, for delivering the presidential address and grace us with his warm presence in this occasion. I'm thankful to the director of the center, who is the person behind the organization and making reality this program. I'm thankful to you, sir. And I'm thankful to the students, participants, the alumni, students, Sheikh Mahmood, Saurabh Sharma, Usma Ashfaq, Advocate Moideen, and Mr. Adil Aziz. And apart from that, all the joint convener of the program, Dr. Asmat Ali, the conveners of different committees, Mr. Ghalib Nastar, Dr. Shanawaz Ahmad Malik, members of the different committees, teachers, all the teachers of the center, all the students of the center, all the alumni of the center for participating in this program. Due to time constraints, I'm shortening my speech, but I express my deep gratitude on record for your kind participation and making this program a success. Thank you all, and happy Sir Syed Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. And it's time to wind up our program. All this would not have been possible without the presence of such great audience. And thank you once again, especially to our guests. Your presence made this day interesting and amazing for us. Thank you for your kind listening and for giving us your precious time.
Now I request a few more minutes of your time to be with us for the EMU Tarana, followed by the national anthem.
Syed, is there?
Yes, I'll share the screen.
With these lines, तूने मुझे तराश के हीरा बना दिया, वरना मेरा शुमार इन्हीं पत्थरों में था. अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी मेरी मादर दर्स का तजस्सुल. Please continue.
Audio is not coming.
Syed, audio is not coming.
Audio is not coming, Syed.
Ah കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് കണ്ടിട്ട് കുറച്ച്
Syed, national anthem.
Okay, sir.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल वंगा हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you each and everyone for making this program a very successful. So thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
The meeting is ended. All of you can disperse.
Okay. Happy Syed Day to all.
Happy Syed Day.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Syed Day to all.
So shall I end the meeting?
Yes, yes. End the meeting. You can end.